What's up, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new show. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got to talk about this Mike Jeffries because this guy is disgusting. And for those of you who've been crying, like, how come we don't talk about the white people who be doing X, Y, and Z? We talking about it right now. So I want y'all discuss for Diddy to be just as loud for this disgusting pig that we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into it while we play the intro, y'all. Yeah, where's my intro? Here we go. What's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of Talk the Real Deal with AT2. And yes, I'm your boy AT2. How everybody doing? How everybody living? How everybody feeling today? What's up? Let's say what's up to the people before we start and get into this. And I do want to say trigger warning, because the things in this indictment, I hate to compare apple to oranges, but it's worse than the stuff that we heard about Diddy. I'm going to just put that out there, y'all. It is worse. I promise you, it is 100 times worse. But let me say what's up to the people. What's up, Ray? What's up, Angie? What's up, Paradise? What's up, Lexi? What's up, Grown Woman? Nice to see my AT-tubers here. What's up, Demetria? Thank you for holding it down for the moderators. What's up, Candy? What's up, Lashana? What's up? Who else we got here? Hold on. Ronnie. What's up, Ronnie? What's up, Your Highness? What's up, Jella? What's up, Kitty Cat? This Kitty Cat, I love you. Thank you for being here. All right. So for those of you who don't know who Mike Jeffries is, he's the CEO of Abercrombie Fitch. Well, former CEO. But while he was the CEO, basically he had a casting couch. Now, it involves two other people that he had this casting couch with, where basically, hey, I'm going to promise these models that they're going to be these big stars and they're going to be on this modeling campaign for Abercrombie and Fitch, but there was never no opportunity. He basically would have them come to these parties, and he had his own freak-off sessions. Yes, his own freak-off sessions. This is what it was. I don't know what else to call it. Now, in the indictment, they call it sex parties, but literally freak-off parties. That's what it was. Now, I want to go ahead and play this video for you guys, and then I'm going to go ahead and read the actual indictment. But let's go ahead and get into it just so you guys have a little background information on what's going on.
New York, thank you all for joining us today. With me today are James Dennehy, Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's New York Field Office. We have Deputy Chief Carlos Ortiz, Commanding Officer of the NYPD Special Victims Unit. And we have my office's outstanding prosecution team, Aaron Reed, Megan Farrell, and Philip Pilmar. We're here today to announce the arrest and charging of three defendants: former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, Michael Jeffries, Matthew Smith, and James Jacobson, on charges of sex trafficking and engaging in interstate prostitution. Powerful individuals for too long have trafficked and abused for their own sexual pleasure young people with few resources in a dream of securing a successful career in fashion or entertainment. To anyone,
one common thing that I have noticed is that usually they get people who are hungry for success, who are broke, don't have anything. They prey on the weak. You never really hear too many times of like, oh, this person was on the same level or they came from money. Like, you always hear they were basically desperate for an opportunity. And you just kind of think, mind you, these cases that we're hearing, they're one of billions. Well, I shouldn't say billions, but one of thousands of cases where you heard of the casting couch. That's where the whole thing comes from. The casting couch, that saying or phrase.
Who thinks they can exploit and coerce others by using the so-called casting couch system. This case should serve as a warning. Prepare to trade that couch for a bed in federal prison. The message from today's prosecution is clear. Sexually exploiting vulnerable human beings is a crime, In doing so, by dangling dreams of a future in fashion or modeling or any other business is no different. My office and our law enforcement partners will always prioritize standing up for victims, no matter their gender and no matter how powerful the wrongdoers think they are. We will hold them to account. As we allege in the indictment, between 1992 and 2014, Michael Jeffries was the chief executive officer of Abercrombie & Fitch. Abercrombie was a widely known clothing retailer with stores around the world. Aspiring fashion models knew that a place on one of Abercrombie's iconic ads could be the ticket to success in the modeling.
So I want to pause it right there because something that I didn't when I was growing up, I remember Abercrombie didn't necessarily like black people too much. And, you know, when you go in their stores, they would follow you around. On top of that, you really never seen any black people working there, hardly, barely, ever. You know, they would say they would only want good looking people to work at their stores or wear their clothes. Like, they were not ethical at all. And they were proud not to be ethical. That's what I remember. I didn't know they were literally running sex rinks, basically, what was going on with their models. But that's what I remember. And shout out to Blessing. Thank you for that. Yeah, he was allowed to post bail for $10 million. He should still be in jail. That man is disgusting. And happy 8 months, by the way. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Industry. But while Jeffries was the CEO of one of the most recognizable clothing retailers in the world, he was using his power, his wealth, and his influence to traffic men for his own sexual pleasure and that of his romantic partner, Matthew Smith. The charging documents describe in graphic and disturbing detail the violent and exploitive acts these defendants perpetrated, for which they will now face justice in a court here in the Eastern District of New York. So here's what's alleged in the indictment. Jeffries and Smith employed James Jacobson to act as a recruiter to find men. Jacobson engaged in, quote, tryouts with men across the world where he would typically pay them to engage in sex acts with him. Following the tryouts with Jacobson, Smith would often then personally approve whether the men who were selected would meet Jeffries and Smith. The defendants would fly the selected men to Jeffries and
Do you know how disgusting that is? They have to go through a trial with this Jacobson guy. And what he means by trial is he would engage in sex acts with them. And then if they were good enough, they would go to the next level to where Mike Jeffries and Matthew Smith would then have them at the parties doing y'all disgusting. I told you this one's going to be hard to hear. So, you know, if it's going to be hard for you, I understand. But, you know, it's rough.
The Smith's homes in the Hamptons in New York City or to hotels around the world in such places as England, France, Italy, Morocco, and St. Bart's for the purpose of attending events to engage in commercial sex. But beyond simply hiring men for sex, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson used force, fraud, and coercion to traffic those men for their own sexual gratification. For example, as alleged, the defendants employed a referral system and an interview process that did not inform the men of the details of the sex events before they attended, including the full extent and nature of the sexual activity that would be required of the men at these events. They caused the men to believe that attending these sex events could yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie or otherwise benefit their careers. Smith and Jeffries employed a secret staff to operate these sex events. The staff ensured that the men signed non-disclosure agreements and handed over their personal items, such as their phones, before the start of the events to maintain the secrecy of these events. The defendants caused the men to believe that not complying with requests for certain acts, sex acts during the events, could harm their careers. The defendants pressured the men to consume alcohol, Viagra, and muscle relaxants known as poppers during the sex events. And they required the presence of staff during the sexual activity and ensured that the men did not leave the sex events until.
Again, that false imprisonment. They had to stay there. I'm glad also in this indictment they include force, coercion. They included those things because what I notice a lot of times, and you guys have heard me say this about Diddy, is that a lot of people are like, oh, he was a freak. I don't understand what was wrong with what he was doing. And it's all like, no, it's the drugging, forcing people to do things they didn't want to do, recording people without their acknowledgement and those kind of things. That was the crime. But everybody was just thinking like, oh, he's a freak. That was it. I'm glad that they put that in there because it makes you realize like, oh, he was doing a lot more. What's up, Beauty for Ashes? Like, he was doing it against these people. Will.
Jeffries and Smith decided that the sessions were over. Also, as alleged, on more than one occasion, Jeffries and Smith either directed others to inject or personally injected men with an erection-inducing substance for the purpose of causing the men to engage in sex acts the men were incapable of engaging in or unwilling to engage in. Additionally,
there we go.
The indictment alleges on more than one occasion when men did not or could not consent, Jeffries and Smith violated the bodily integrity of these men by subjecting them or continuing to subject them to invasive sexual and violent contact by body parts and other objects. As alleged in the indictment, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson didn't just carry this activity on for a couple of occasions. Their sex trafficking and prostitution enterprise lasted at least from the end of 2008 until early 2015. During that period, the defendants hired dozens of men and transported them to New York and around the globe. They spent millions of dollars on a massive infrastructure to support this operation and maintain its secrecy. This included hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash for commercial sex, prolific amounts of money for staff to run the sex events, money for domestic travel, international travel, hotel rooms, services from a security company, and Jacobson's salary, among other things. Now, this investigation remains ongoing, although there are 15 John Does identified as victims.
So one thing I wanted to point out is that they're using company money to do this and his salary. Like, yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch, they need to be indicted too, the whole company. Again, he's not the CEO anymore, but those staffers and employees, they need to be indicted as well too.
In this indictment, this interstate prostitution venture encompassed dozens and dozens of men. And I encourage anyone with information about this case, including anyone who was a victim of the defendant's alleged crimes, to contact the FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. Now, I want to thank the victims who have already come forward for sharing their stories. Prosecutions like this are really impossible without the bravery of victims who are willing to report what happened to them to law enforcement. But this office, the Department of Justice, and its law enforcement partners will continue to work tirelessly to protect victims from powerful individuals who use their wealth and their influence to exploit and harm others for sexual gratification. In addition to my team, I'd like to give special.
Okay, so that right there, he's just giving thank yous and stuff like that. But one thing that I noticed about this one, just like the Diddy, is that it's still like an open investigation. They gave the 1-800 numbers to still call if you have information on this. So it's still like an open case to where they can still add more indictments in. And like he said, they only have 16 victims, but technically this happened to dozens and dozens of men. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and read the indictment. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to get through basically the meat and potatoes of it to let you guys know how bad this thing really was. And there he is. That's Mike Jeffries right there, for those of you who didn't know who he was. So again, just like he said, from approximately 2008 to 2015, the defendants, Michael S. Jeffries, Matthew C. Smith, and James T. Jacobson, together with others, operated an international sex trafficking and prostitution business. During this period, Jeffries and Smith relied on their vast financial resources, Jeffries' power as the CEO of Abercrombie, and numerous people, including Jacobson, and a network of employees, contractors, and security professionals to run a business that was dedicated to fulfilling their sexual desires and ensuring for their international sex trafficking and prostitution business was kept secret, thereby maintaining Jeffrey's powerful reputation. This kind of sounds like Epstein. Now, it doesn't say anything anybody was underage, but with Jeffrey Epstein, he went international with it. So this kind of falls on those lines. And mind you, as I understand, Jeffries right there, that monster right there, was friends with Epstein. Birds of a feather flock together. Isn't that what they say, y'all? And please go ahead and hit that like button, you guys. I know it's a lot going on and people probably distracted to even hit the like button, but it does help with the algorithm because this definitely does need to be spread around and talked about. Just like I said, everybody was so loud about Diddy, but he wasn't the only one. We obviously see that now, right? As part of the international sex trafficking and prostitution business, the defendants Michael S. Jeffries and Matthew C. Smith paid for dozens of men, including, among others, John Doe 1 through 15 individuals whose identities are known to the grand jury to travel within the United States and internationally to most Jeffries and Smith in various locations, including the New York properties, as well as in hotels in such places as England, France, Italy, Morocco, and how do you say that? Is it St. Barth? Yeah, St. Barth, for purpose of engaging in commercial sex acts with Jeffries, Smith, and others. Sex, in quotations, they have sex events. They don't call it free calls. They call it sex events. Some of the men traveled to and were paid to attend multiple sex events. The defendants, Michael S. Jeffries and Matthew C. Smith, through the JFO, recruited, hired, and paid an exclusive set of household staff, in quotations, staff, to facilitate and supervise the sex events. Among other things, the staff transported men to and from sex events, arranged physical spaces for the sex events, and supervised the men who attended, including, among other things, facilitating the conduct described below in paragraphs 9 to 11. So 9 to 11, those are going to be very difficult. Oh, yeah, the pictures look fake as hell. Thank you, Blessed. I appreciate that. They look fake as hell. All right. At the direction of the defendants, Michael S. Jeffries and Matthew C. Smith, the staff was present at, observed, and acted as security for, including by controlling entry and exit for the sex events. Again, just like the guy said, they weren't allowed to leave at all. The staff also provided Jeffries Smith and the men who attended with alcohol, muscle relaxers known as poppers, Viagra. This is stuff that he read to you guys. The defendant, James T. Jacobson, traveled throughout the United States and internationally to recruit and interview men for the sex events. During the tryouts of potential candidates, Jacobson typically required that the candidates first engage in commercial sex acts with him. Following the tryout, Jacobson, the defendant, Matthew C. Smith, approved candidates prior to their selection for the transportation to a sex event. At the direction of Smith/Jacobson, paid fees to individuals who successfully referred men were subsequently selected. Wow. So if you did a great job, let me go ahead and take that picture. And thank you, Demetria, for keeping up with the likes. Make sure you guys hit that like button. So basically, if you recruited, based on how many or who you recruited, you would get a fee. So Jacobson was basically being paid Like, oh yeah, you picked a good one. We'll give you some money for recruiting this one. Disgusting. Disgusting. The defendants, Michael S. Jeffries, Matthew C. Smith, and James T. Jacobson, and others acting at their direction, employed coercive, fraudulent, and deceptive tactics in connection with the recruitment, hiring, transportation, obtaining, maintaining, solicitation, and payment of the men to engage in commercial sex. For example, Jeffrey Smith and others acting. I'm not acting. No, that was right. And others acting at their direction. Employed a referral system and interview process that failed to inform men of the details of the sex events before they attended, including the full extent and nature of the sexual activity that would be required of the men in the sex events, including, among other things, anal intercourse. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Anal intercourse, the insertion of large sex toys into the anus, and high pressure enemas administered by inserting a hose into the anus. Ay, ay, ay. I know that one was probably hard to hear, you guys. Required the prospective candidates first participate in sexual encounter or tryout with Jacobson, at first without advance notice. Caused men to believe that attending the sex event could yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie or otherwise benefit their careers, or in the alternative, that not complying with requests for certain acts during the sex events could harm their careers, including by, among other things, referring directly or indirectly to modeling opportunities that did not exist, incorporating Abercrombie products in the sex events, and providing men with itineraries for the sex events that did not refer to commercial sex, and instead resembled those often seen to models for photo shoots, thereby obscuring the nature of the sex events from the men selected to attend. One thing I wanted to say about this is that it seemed like, okay, they were willing to do things to advance their career, but it seemed like they thought they would have a choice of the matter of what they would do and as far as they would go. But then when they were there, they realized, no, you do what we tell you. You do what we tell you. You're here to fulfill our freaky ass fantasy. Another 69 god. Ugh. Disgusting. Okay. Okay, we're on line D. Physically groom men prior to the sex events, including at times shaving men's genitals without advance notice. Required men to relinquish their personal items, including clothing, wallets, cellular phones, and store them in an inaccessible location during the sex events. So, of course, they knew they were doing something wrong because they didn't want them to have access to their stuff, take pictures, record anything. They knew what they were doing was wrong. Required men to sign non-disclosure agreements, which, among other things, prohibited the disclosure of information about the sex events, including to their own family and friends, and required the payment of damages in the event of a breach. So in the NDA, they have the nerve to say, if you say anything, that's a breach of your contract. No, anytime you're doing anything illegal, you can break that NDA. An NDA does not save you from illegal activities. Again, an NDA does not save you from illegal activities. And, you know, it's something that I learned more recently of that. I thought an NDA, you couldn't say anything. But no, but a lot of people don't know that. Just because you have an NDA does not mean you can't speak out. Intentionally recruited heterosexual men certain of whom were unwilling to engage in particular sex acts, including anal sex, and insisted that the men who previously stated they were unwilling to engage in particular sex acts, including anal sex, nonetheless engage in such acts during the sex events. So again, some of these men were heterosexual, and they would still expect them to act in or engage in the sex acts. Like, you basically didn't have a choice. This is what you were going to do. So what I'm wondering by that, let me go ahead and show my face. What I'm wondering by that is that, did they just tell the men, like, hey, we're going to hire you for your service? And maybe they didn't know that, oh no, we want you to engage in us. Or did they promise them, like, oh, you're going to sleep with, a woman? Or, like, I'm interested in knowing what the exact details were. Because if you tell me I'm going to a sex event, I'm going to ask questions like, what? Huh? Come again? I'm going to ask those questions. So what was said to coerce them to engage in that? All right, let's go back to the indictment. Pressure men to consume alcohol, Viagra, muscle relaxants known as poppers during the sex events, and required the presence of the staff during the sex activity, and ensured the men attending did not leave the sex events until Jeffries and Smith decided they were over. A little resemblance of Diddy. You're not allowed to leave until I tell you can leave. On more than one occasion, the defendants Michael S. Jeffries and Matthew C. Smith either directed others to or personally injected men in their penises with a prescription-grade erection-inducing substance for the purpose of causing men to engage in sex acts in which they were otherwise physically incapable or willing or unwilling. So if you couldn't get hard, they would inject your penis with something to make it hard. Wow. Crazy. Notwithstanding the fact that these injections were not medically indicated and frequently caused the men to suffer painful physical reactions that lasted for several hours. Jeffries and Smith employed their use to fulfill their own sexual desires by causing men to submit to them. And another thing, I don't know if I skipped the part, but basically they would have the men engage with each other, but also Jeffries and Smith, they would join in. So it wasn't like the men were just with each other. Like, Jeffrey and Smith would also join in too as well. I don't know if I skipped that part in here, but I wanted to mention that. They weren't just watching, they were participating as well. On more than one occasion, the defendants Michael S. Jeffries and Matthew C. engaged in sex acts, continued to engage in sex acts, or caused men to engage in sex acts, including but not limited to anal penetration and the use of high-pressure enemas to which men did not or were unable to consent. Now, when it says that they were unable to consent, what I'm wondering is, were they drugged? Like, were they given something to where they were unconscious? It doesn't exactly say that in here, but that's what it sounds like. In or about between 2008, December 2008 to March 2015, both dates being approximate and inclusive with the Eastern District of New York and elsewhere, the defendants Michael S. Jeffries, Matthew C. Smith, and James T. Jacobson, also known as Jim Jake, Mrs. Cook, and Todd. I don't know why they have different aliases. Together with others, did knowingly and intentionally recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, and maintain by any means one or more persons in and affecting in interstate commerce and basically trafficking. That's what they're saying, and did benefit financially by receiving anything of value from participating in a venture which engaged in such acts knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion as described in Title 18 United States Code, and that's the code number. Okay. And then it has the list of the 16 defendants. And so basically, whenever they would go to these sex events, it has it dated here of the years and between the time period they would go. Like it says, count 2, John Doe 1, approximate date, December 2008 to February 2010. John Doe 2, December 2008 to June 2012. So again, different time periods for each victim, and it's 16 people in total. 16 people in total. Yeah, this was a lot. And for all of this, he's only looking at 20 years. Now, granted, the dude's 80, right? Granted, he's 80. But for me, you need to be put in jail for life. Not just 20 years. Like, you need to rot in there. Now, do I think that this ugly mofo gonna make it to 100? No, his days look like they're numbered. But he needs a life sentence. At least some kind of justice for these men who had to go through this. And mind you, around this time, he would have been like 60, like in his 60s, right? So, oh my God. Freaky ass ninja, you a 69 god. Literally. Shout out to Couture Bay because she mentioned something with the castmate from Below the Deck. You know that show on Bravo? And I had no idea about this, but he had basically blew the whistle on this a while ago. Let me see if I can find the article. Dang, and I just had the article, you guys. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, but shout out to Couture Bay. Oh man, what'd I do with that article? Yeah, I can't. Oh dang, and I had it here for you guys too. Let me go ahead and pull up his picture. David Bradbury, but this is him right there. He had spoke on this a long time ago. He basically shared his experience and said that he was sodomized by Mike Jeffries. David was invited to an event at ex-CEO Mike Jeffries' home where he was drugged and sexually assaulted, unaware that he would be required to engage in sexual activity. Yep. This seems like what really took it over. It's always what I'm noticing is that it's always that one victim, just like with Diddy had Cassie. Cassie was that one person to blow the whistle, and then a shitstorm happened after that, right? This is basically what David did. Now, I don't know if he filed a lawsuit or not. That's what I don't know. It says Below the Deck is a Bravo reality TV program based around the lives of... Okay, that's about the show. However, amid a series of all the hype, we have a serious case surfacing the waters. People who are already fans of Below the Deck franchise remember David Bradbury, but those who don't know, Bradbury was a part of the early seasons. Trying to get in this. Okay, here we go. Some might be unaware, but he was also an aspiring model. At 23, David says he went through severe exploitation within the industry. He is a part of a group of male models taking a stand against the former Abercrombie and Fitch CEO Mike Jeffries and his associate Matthew Smith. In a recent investigation done by the BBC, Jeffries and his partner have been accused of running a network exploiting young models for sex. Oh, there we go. And this article was dated October 6, 2023. October 6, 2023. So the BBC, and that's, the news over in the UK, they were the ones who really opened this up. They opened up the floodgates and was all like, hey, this guy has been sexually assaulting models for years and nothing has happened. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And the fact that he was doing this all over, St. Barth, France, Italy, England, they don't care. The big theme that I'm hearing is that these people don't care. They'll do it anywhere. They'll literally take people in different places. And maybe that's also like, hey, so I can hide what's going on, basically. Let me go to a foreign country. Somebody's going to find out. Somebody will find out, and somebody will blow the whistle on. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link if anybody feels any kind of way of this. But I definitely wanted to bring this up because I'm all like, you have these people. Remember they were talking about the CEOs, right? And they were like, oh, all these CEOs are quitting after Diddy, got indicted, blah, 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 blah. I don't think necessarily all of them are connected to Diddy. What I believe is when they seen Diddy go down, they're all like, oh shit, we really got to get our stuff together and get the hell up out of here and figure some stuff out because we've been doing the same thing, if not worse. In this case, worse. We've been doing the same thing, if not worse. So we need to go ahead and fly under the radar and get the hell up out of here. Or try to pay off victims if not they done it already. You know what I mean? They knew what was coming. Let's get the hell out of Dodge while we still can. And they've been doing this 2008 to 2015. Wow. That was almost a whole decade. Let me see when he dropped down from being the CEO. That's one thing I didn't check. Whoa, do you guys know he's married? He's married to a woman, Suzanne Marie. Oh, Lord. I did not know he was married. I thought that Matthew Smith was his boyfriend. Oh, let's get forward, y'all. I can take down the picture. Hold on. What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good. His partner is a man and he has a wife.
Oh, and he got a girlfriend, a mistress, and okay. I get his situation. Okay.
Yes. Listen, she's probably about to book it up out of there because she like, where is the money gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's one thing I love about the girlies. They preserve themselves. I'm here for it. Ooh, I love that study. See, I can't wait to take this class. Y'all, AT2 got classes. Make sure y'all book when he dropped the link.
Yes, hit me up. Yes.
But when this happened, I didn't see it go viral. I didn't see it trending. And that's the power of the white dollar. And people like to say, oh, I'm for the victims. I didn't see none of these for the victims speak on Mike Jeffries yet. They ran to the internet with every new lawsuit about Diddy. but they are cute and mute right now. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but this man is, they have proof, like real proof, international proof. That's how they were able to obtain him. That Branberry guy, he was very nice. He was on TV and then he disappeared. I thought he was getting right with the Lord or was in love. No, this whole time he was taking down this man who abused him. And for the record, y'all, he put every one of them under an NDA. And Abercrombie decided, oh, we're going to hire our own lawyers to do an investigation, which we never heard about. Which in my mind, they were only doing it to pay them off. These are the people who refused the check. So
Right.
don't be fooled. They were wearing the uniform and watching it at these events worldwide. I don't know why people are not waking that up. Where is Pierce? You know,
Right. Pierce Morgan.
why aren't you talking about why aren't you getting your people on the line? Why aren't the fashion girlies denying him? He was running that company from 1992 to 2014. I remember when he stepped down because it was a huge scandal. I remember they said they were targeting the teens. They said teenagers, not men. They said teenagers. Brad
Wow.
said he was targeting children. He was 19 when he first heard of it and went when he was 21 or something like that. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. Either way, I just find it suspect. I find it suspicious. And that's all I have. Thank you for letting me up. I will be
Yeah.
doing a play-by-play because we need to get to the bottom of this. How come he was
Exactly.
able to, they said it just started. No, I think he was doing this back in 1992.
Ooh, the way that it was ran like a whole organization, and like the Jacobson guy basically had his fun with them first to make sure they was good, and then they got moved up to the next round. No, that had to be going on for a while. If it's running like a whole criminal organization, that had to be going on for a long time. It could not just be all of a sudden. And I'm happy that you mentioned also too how all these people have been loud about Diddy and everything like that. Like I said earlier, like this man is worse. Like I hate to do the apples and oranges. They all should go to jail. Don't get me wrong. But where is Pierce Morgan to interview a whole bunch of people in the fashion industry, whole bunch of white people, and do panels and stuff like that? But with this
Candace, where
Diddy
you at,
stuff,
girl?
right. With this Diddy stuff, they want to do like these 30-hour live streams. And I'm talking about everybody. These 30-hour live streams, just pulling shit from the internet, just trying to make two things that don't even go together. Because let's also wake up that Liam Payne has nothing to do with Diddy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I don't.
they saw pink cocaine and ran with it. Baby, the 2C is out there because Lamar Odom knew what it was called. He said, oh, 2C? Yeah, he got a serious drug habit. That's what he said.
Right. We just didn't know about the pink stuff, but the pink stuff been the pink stuff. And I asked all my co-core friends about the pink stuff. They said, "No, we don't know what that is. It's only by the rich people. They do the pink stuff. When you just a regular co-core, you just do the white stuff." So I learned that.
Okay. Okay. That's why he was able to function like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it was about. Like, this is crazy. I just talked about poppers yesterday, and you have this old white man. It's given. You remember that political head figure who was out here turning out the black man?
Yes, yeah. It was like in LA or somewhere. Yeah, I remember that.
It's given that. It's given that. But I gotta send you something because one of your political officials just got caught stealing money from the senior citizens and just recused themselves. I gotta send it to you so you can wake that up because it's dealing
Okay.
with LA. But as far as this goes, I think everybody knew. I think they didn't care because if you look at the
Mhm.
campaign since Abercrombie and Finch been on the scene, it gave very. If you look at the pictures and you can pull one up if you like, it's given soft P.
I mean, when you look at the ads and stuff like that, it's always like, yeah, it's given softcore. It's definitely giving softcore now. Thinking about it, but when I was growing up, I always knew like Abercrombie and Fitch. Oh, this company is like racist. They only want the whites, and so like that's what I knew about it. I didn't know all of this other stuff was going on, but I mean, I can expect it. Yeah, it makes sense. They had a certain type that they liked, and that's what they went with, and that's what they hired. Now we didn't know they were hiring them for their own sexual gratification. That's what we didn't know.
Look at all those men in the ads who are the face look just like Brad. They have similar symmetry. He has his
Yeah,
height.
the features.
So
Yeah,
so it's baby, it's deplorable. The things the boys had to go
ugly.
through. Are they not waking it up because it's the men? Do the men not care about the men? Candace, you're so pro man. Why aren't you talking about this, Candy girl? Is it because it goes into your background and your territory? Is it your husband from London? Was he doing business with Mr. So and so? I don't know. I just feel like where are
Right,
the conspiracy theorists at?
right. It's been very quiet, and I'm even shocked from some of our counterparts. I haven't seen them wake it up either. I'm all like, "Are y'all sleeping?" Because I'm over here waking it up while y'all sleeping. Because this definitely needs to be front page news. Like this ain't the fact that this man got to post bail. He should be in jail next to Diddy.
Post bail in New York. Is the Eastern different from the Southern District? Because why did the Eastern let him go?
That's what I need to know. I don't know what South, North, West, East New York is, but wherever they all need to be locked up. All these people, they don't need to be out of jail. No, lock them all up and keep them locked up.
Child, it's given. They actually got some videos over there because this was a very like, we're gonna
Mm,
wait till we go to court.
right. And you
But
know something else that I noticed too was that with this case, the other, even though the other two defendants were named the Jacobson and Smith, did they get arrested also? I didn't see that. It seemed like only.
so he got arrested. They said Jacobson, I think Jacobson has dual citizenship. He's still in there, so he didn't get to be free. But they didn't publish his face.
Oh,
I want to know what he looks like.
yeah. I want to know what these other people look like so we can plaster their face all over too.
Yeah, they got these inconspicuous pictures ever, and I'm like,
Mm-mm.
no. Y'all was able to go formulate some pictures for Diddy. Where is Harvey from TMZ? Why are you not chasing them down in the street?
Right. Where's his mugshot, by the way? Like, why don't we have a mugshot of this? The Mike Jeffries.
I don't know. And this is a federal case. You see that? You see
Hmm.
how his federal case is different from it's given corrupt,
Right. This is not
corrupt.
civil. This is federal. Exactly.
I don't know. But New York, you pissing me off, New York. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. And they
Politely.
need a speedy trial too. Like they need to schedule this around the same time as Diddy or beforehand. I don't care. They need a speedy trial. Get this going. I don't want this delayed another 10 years. No, it need to happen immediately.
April, okay? It needs to
April.
go down in April. Because we don't need anybody dying before they can go to trial.
True, true. Because now you see how Weinstein got leukemia. Now he's saying that he got cancer. No, you see,
Listen,
you still need a rock.
he already got off on that technicality and they trying so hard to send him back. I said, look at the Southern District of New York slipping.
Right. Get them all. Throw them all in the trash. I don't care at this point. Throw them all in the trash.
Mm-mm.
But we gonna be fair about it because yeah, if we gonna put so much pressure on Diddy, we need to put pressure on all of them because they all disgusting and nasty.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, why are you
Mm.
hosting a casting couch to be a model? I ain't never heard of no ish like that.
Right. And just like I said, the fact that okay, you have one person recruit the guys and then they send them up to you. Like, what was going on there? Like,
And,
what?
and, And I'm like, he only got a gift card.
Crazy.
I I don't want to judge. I really don't. But you had to. It seemed like he had to perform that guac guac 10,000 on Jacobson, and then had to go perform the real act with the old me. And they was old back then. He's 80 now. They was old back.
Right.
They was old as hell back then.
Yeah,
So
so they were in their 60s, 70s doing all this.
I'm
Oh,
like,
oh my God.
what type of freaking leaks? It was giving them the Viagra's. We need to ban Viagra because the boys.
Right. Did you know that we spend like a part of our defense bill is spending like billions of dollars on Viagra? I was all
Because
like,
these people, these men in power, they need it. Clearly, what are you doing at 70 where you feel you need to at
right.
a party?
And staying hard for like 8 hours and like what? What?
It's given they got them on tape. I'm sorry. You cannot convince me. They didn't say anything about footage, which means they got some footage. That I personally believe that. Something in my spirit says
Ooh.
they got photos, they got footage, they got everything.
So you feel like they got some kind of footage or some kind of picture or something.
These are old white men from a certain era. They do got they got it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, are the staffers gonna flip on him? Because I'm all like, why aren't the staffers in the indictment too? Like if they were
Because
all
they was
there during.
participating.
Mm, never thought about it that way. Right.
Because why would Abercrombie come out here and be like, "Oh, we didn't"? No. Mm-mm. Y'all knew. He had to step down in 2014. I thought it was weird because he made them
Hmm.
so much money. They tried to say because of the there's no money, the economy wasn't stable. I said in 2014 the economy was booming.
Right.
So what?
And
Mm-mm.
here's my thing: what was the result of their investigation that they did? I don't know there was the result of their investigation because it's all like obviously you didn't investigate too well if there's a whole indictment going on.
That's all I'm saying. I just want to know why are we lying to the girls?
Right, right. I'm all like they they need to shut down all the Abercrombie and Fitch. I don't even know if they still open. Do they? Are they still open like a physical location?
Yes, and that's what's so crazy about
Oh my
that's what's so
God.
crazy about it because it's like what?
Because I like not to be shady or anything like that. I've been thought like they shut down. I didn't know there was still like a viable open company. Like people nowadays order online, so you barely go to the mall and stuff like that. But I haven't like I was just in the mall yesterday, and I haven't even seen Abercrombie and Fitch, and there probably was one there, but I just didn't notice it because I never go there. Did you shop there when you were younger?
No, my mom wouldn't let me go up in there because she just thought she didn't like how dark it was. Remember, it had that.
Oh yeah, you
It
did
was
say that on your channel. It
super
was very dark.
dark. It had those, it was catered to the men. My mom just thought it was something was perverse about the store. And when I was talking with one of the base
Mm.
squads, they were like, the atmosphere just gave sex. And who are these clothes for? And thinking about it now, you don't think about that because why would I?
Hold on. I wanted to show something real quick. Hold on. Okay. Let me turn on my camera. Okay, so I went to Macy's the other day, right? And I had bought
Yes.
this, I had seen this jacket and I was like, dang, this is probably and I thought it was gonna be full price, but I was like, let me see if it does have a discount. But it's just a black jacket though, right? But the thing is, I like the lining of it. Like I like the design. Hold on, let me put me bigger. Hold on. I forgot.
Yes. Put you bigger so they can see it.
Yeah. But I like the lining of the jacket. It's just black, but
Yeah.
I really like it though. And then I seen like the lining. I was like, oh, I gotta get this. I was like, I don't even care if it's full price. I'm gonna put it on my credit card that I just paid it off on.
Not you put it on the credit card.
Yeah. No,
Throw it in the
I ended up
bag.
just buying. I just ended up buying it with my regular money. But yeah, but if it was full price, I was gonna put it on the credit card.
Not you was gonna put it on the credit card, child. You supposed to be buying smart. We supposed to be paying off the debt.
Right, you right about that. You right. But anyway, yeah. But Abercrombie and Fitch, I always knew like, okay, they didn't really like black people. They would follow you around the store. They models looked a certain kind of way, so that's why I always knew to stay away. But I didn't hear about any of this stuff going down. Like it's crazy to me.
Isn't it? It's just sad because where was the protection?
Mm. Right, right.
I don't know. I
And if this indictment didn't go down, would any of the employees say anything that were there at these events, the security personnel? Like, would anybody have said anything if this indictment didn't go? Like, I mean, if you ask me, like, hey, AT2, I need you to work this event, and this is what you're gonna be doing, I'll be like, I don't think that's an event that I'm gonna work, or I'm gonna need the day off that day. I'm gonna be asking questions. Like, nobody asks no questions. Like,
You know what? Because they're all in cahoots. And I said, this is just a start. This is the
mm-hmm,
fashion industry. If he was doing it, I can only imagine what the Muglers and the Chanels and the rest of them
mm-hmm.
was doing because this is a jean company, an American brand company. Can you imagine what the couture girls was over there doing?
Shit. You right about that. Like, it's not just him. It's a lot of people. Just like I said about these
I want
CEOs,
to
I was
know
all like,
how did he get started into this? Like, where's his documentary? Okay, where are the scorned girls? Hollister, you need to run right now to try to bury Abercrombie and talk about how they don't. Even though Abercrombie, their jeans fit like grits. I'm not even gonna lie.
mm.
They have really good jeans. It's so sad. Hopefully, they're doing a 50% off sale to
You
distract
right.
from the noise, and I'll be buying. Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Right.
Because how else are the victims going to get paid? I keep telling people this.
Right.
People run to the internet to talk about the people listening to R. Kelly, and that's the only way the girls are getting paid through the royalties. People don't know that though.
True. True. But I kind of don't want Drea Kelly to get anything, though. I do not like her. I'm sorry. I do
If she
not
was
like
getting
that lady.
anything, she would not be over there with Cisco from Love and Hip Hop.
You got a point.
She said she was broke in the documentary. Yes, I did watch it. I couldn't help myself. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I still don't trust that lady. Oh, I don't know anything and all that. I don't trust her. I do not.
I that's how everybody's doing right now. Because I said, why is this not breaking news? My issue with it is when it's the pale people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to be cute and mute, and this is what freaking what's his face was talking about when he was over there with Pierce Morgan. She's a
Mm-hmm.
sweet person in real life, child. Okay.
I could see her being a sweet person in real life. I just her memory isn't too good, but I can picture her being a sweet person. I can picture her being a sweet person. Her memory just not that good. Abercrombie like
Mm.
Calvin Klein or like Netflix and oh, American Eagle. That's another. They need to look at American Eagle. That's another one.
Oh, I love American Eagle. Them some good fitting jeans too. You know what? Them all white companies, they got it down to the science. It's something about for the tall girls. If you're tall and curvy, go to an American Eagle. It's something about if
Mm.
the boys' jeans look good, the girls' jeans are gonna fit like a glove. I don't know what it is. And,
Oh, is
and it's
that like
because
a
they
thing?
was lusting after the men. That's why.
Oh, so if the boys' jeans fit good, that means that the girl jeans will also fit good. Oh, I didn't. Well, I only wear boy jeans, so I didn't know. But okay, that's a good philosophy right there. Okay.
Yeah, because you know what? I only got into that store because I was grown. My mom wouldn't let me wear it. She said it was too dark. The ambiance was wrong. That's what she was saying. It's grown. It's grown. And now I understand what she was talking about. Because now I don't look at it like that. It be lit up in there. You can see it. Back when we used to go to the mall, it would be pitch black like it's a club or something. I used to be like, well, why can't I go in there?
And it would smell very strong too. Remember they would spray like the
Yes.
perfume or cologne or whatever. It
That
was
was
like very
cologne. It was to
strong.
attract the boys. They knew what they were doing. They were trying to drag the boys in. So they
Oh.
probably was recruiting from the stores, if you let me tell it.
Shit, I wouldn't be surprised.
Where else were they getting these men from to do all these favors in London and Paris and God knows where? You see, they only put some of the countries. Where's the rest of the countries?
Right, that's true.
I don't trust none of it.
Oh, EA said either for flat butts.
I disagree.
Couture make butt ain't flat, y'all.
It's not. I would probably have less issues if it was flat.
Y'all crack me up in the chat. Hey Mary, how you doing? But yeah, this whole situation with I'm gonna try to find that BBC document. I guess they did like a documentary or something about Mike Jeffries and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to find that so I can watch it and do a review on it. Because
You
I
should.
honestly didn't hear about this until today.
I didn't hear about it. The fact that Brad came out a long time ago and was talking about it, it's weird. It's like, was he paying to have it covered up? Like, is his money long like that? Like, what's going on? But he brought in the company billions, so I can only imagine. Are like his attorneys? We don't even know what they look like. I
Right.
find everything about that strange. Like, how come they have the courtesy? And I know they got the right protection, the complexion for the protection. I just don't think it's fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Trafficking
it's
is
not there.
trafficking, if you let me tell it.
Right. Right. Enforcing, coercion, the drugs, the drink, all. I
With the
mean,
companies,
on the company's dime. They need
they
stock in
knew.
the company.
They knew. They had to know. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
can do that for that long with at his old age. Like he was old as hell.
Right.
Old as hell. Like 30 years ago, he was like in his 50s. Come on now. When he first got to the company, like, where did this man come from? It's just strange. He came from out of nowhere and then ran that company. It's weird. And I keep telling people a lot of these companies are shells for what they really be doing. They just so happen to sell jeans.
Right. Right. That's true. I was saying that about Diddy. He had a record label, but after the 90s, who was their biggest artist? Nobody, because he basically took all their money, might have put out a song, hardly any albums of those art. Like it was a shell business while he was running all his freak offs and stuff like that. Same thing.
Yeah, he was getting paid. He was sponsored though. You know, people don't like to wake that up. A lot of them
Mm,
parties was sponsored by billionaire companies. So
right. Yeah, using the record label and stuff like exactly. That's why they need to all be in jail.
but thank you, AT2, for letting me up. I hope somebody else comes
Yes.
up, talk about the case. Y'all, Black voices matter. And congratulations again
Yes.
on your 50K.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you. And I'm dropping down. Bye, y'all.
All right. Bye, y'all. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and get the heck up out of here. I appreciate it, everybody for hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel. Again, thank you. We just hit 50K. Thank you, everyone. But yeah, I'm happy that Couture Bay came out. Make sure you guys follow Couture Bay as well too. I think it's just at Couture Bay. That's how you guys can find her. Let me put it right here. Hold on. Couture Bay on YouTube. on the YouTubes. Yeah. Like I said, any updates on this, you guys, I'm definitely going to do a video on it. Just like I said, how everybody was loud about Diddy and all that, we're going to be loud about this because, yeah, the situation is, I don't even want to say as disgusting. It's just disgusting in general. And hopefully these victims, again, this is more of a criminal case, but hopefully they do get justice. Like I said, they need stock in the company because he was using company money to do this. They need stock in Abercrombie and Fitch. That's how I feel about it. All right, you guys, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We out of here, y'all. Deuces, everybody. We out.